Hey guys, this is TriggerFish. I just thought it'd be fun to do a just a watch through together. This is the finals, so spoiler alerts. Um, but I'm basically gonna play this through at a little bit of a faster pace than just regular time, just so you know it moves on a little bit faster. But I'm just gonna talk and kind of tell you what it's like to be playing um, in this game, like what our thoughts were as a team. Uh, yeah, so let's get to it. So the reason why Game Hive paths here, the red team, is because we knew that they were going to come out with a Mei, and not running a Mei of our own, we did not want to be in the white room. So we decided that more space would be in our favor, but I mean, Mei is just so powerful at this point. It's kind of insane. We just kind of refuse to play it for whatever reason. But one thing is Ubisoft is really good at rezzing their targets in the same second that they went down. Like, you see, if their tank goes down, their Mercy, whoever's playing it, is there, like, rezzing it, and they back it up, and they get it more often than not. So, yeah, trying to go through the choke with a Mei in, like, holding it is almost impossible. So if you're playing Reinhardt, you have to rotate somewhere else, right? So that was kind of our thought process in rotating up the stairs. So we get it, but then I very foolishly take spam damage right here. I drop my shields. So now all of a sudden, Ubisoft is up 5. They're up 6-5 players. I called to start investing ults because we're down a player. Like, we need to invest into this fight if we want it to win. But I mean, Ubisoft just rolled us anyways. So things are all looking a bit rough right now. So here, back we are at the choke points. 5-7, just hitting shots. Classic. So we rotated this way last time. So we go here, but then we immediately go back because you just want to keep things fresh. Whatever pathing you're doing, you never want to be taking the same pathing over and over again. By the way, that's why you never charge at 5-7, because if he's playing anything with some kind of CC, because he'll hit it. Yeah, so pathing, you always want to be changing it up. You never want to be pathing in the same way over and over again. So that was actually Falcon's call to shift up the pathing. So here, we came into this knowing that we were going to run the TP strat, and we ran the Lucio just to get there faster.
Round 2. Capture the objective.
So we get the TP, and boom, we're in. We're on point. We're set up. We're ready to rock and roll. All of a sudden, Ubisoft's defending, and Game Hive's defending. Ubisoft is attacking. So this is what the pros do. It's just the map meta at the moment. Congrats to anybody who actually figured that out. It's actually just the best, I think. So we do take it's just so hard to push into this. I don't even know how I would do it. But anyways, we win this pretty easily. just because it's so hard to push in. But then 5-7 notices that we have nothing to contest a Pharah with. So he goes Pharah, which is, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking it's like that's a really smart pick, you know. You know, they'll eventually get the point, but then Mezez does stuff like this, and he just sleeps the Mercy. So that was good for us, but in my mind I'm still thinking like this Pharah will eventually just outvalue us through spam. But at the same time, it's, now that I'm thinking about it, it is double shields, you know. He's doing a great job of looking at us from different angles, but I think we just made the plays a little bit too fast. You know, either you're the one making the plays or you're getting plays made on you. Yeah. So originally we wanted to run the pharmacy out here, but because that worked so well, we decided to stick on it. And I think Ubisoft was like, hey, well, if they want to do that, we'll just beat them at their own game. But like Pronto says, you know, having the, like, you need a Lucio, and this is the difference. Is you can see it. We have the Lucio to get us there faster. Underbite puts up his teleporter. We're on the payload, and all of a sudden we're the ones brawling. You know, they have to drop into us. So that's the difference Lucio makes. Is he will get you there faster. So immediately 5-7 spends no time making the swap. He goes to Pharah. And as GameHive, we're very conscious of Pharah. So wherever Pharah is, we're trying to not be. You know? We can see that the rockers are coming in behind us. We all move to the front. We start down there. So wherever Pharah is, that's where we want to be, on the other side. So we were very, very conscious of wherever 5-7 was. You know, he rotates this way, we rotate on the other side. This was the pick that actually blew it up. Captain Jardy got the pick onto Mezez. Actually, I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, just shooting it in, just fishing for shots, and he found Mezez. Yeah. Actually, I think we end up winning this fight. GameHive, that is. We get it to 99. Right here, Titus's whole hog. Actually, it's a bunch of things. But yeah, I mean, it was a good hold. So we got 99 out of it, right? So now we're thinking like, hey, all right, do we still want to use the Symmetra on attack? And you know, we're thinking, like, we only need one team fight to go our way, right? So think, hey, let's give it a shot. But it's just, it was the wrong call. You know, trying to attack into a Pharah with Symmetra, like, it's so rough. And you know, we're coming up to ult, so we're thinking, hey, yeah, maybe we can, you know, but we should have just swapped to 2-hit scan immediately, for 5-7 and just kind of like slow rolled our way in from there. And this was a bit of miscommunication. My team didn't tell me that they were taking a teleporter, so I just straight up feed here while everyone goes around. But Ubisoft is ready for it with ults of their own, so they handle it no big deal. And now all of a sudden we're like, okay, we have to win this next fight, you know. I'm kind of getting. I don't know what to do myself. I think you saw that I swapped to ball, but I was like, no, like Reinhardt's still the answer. Yeah, we should have just swapped like our comp right at the beginning, but we just didn't. So yeah, it was a really good reverse 99 to 99 from Ubisoft.
Victory.
King's Row.
Now enter ready for battle. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
So King's Row, this totally threw me off. I was not expecting double shield out of Ubisoft. I never would have guessed it. I thought they were going to run the Mei. So you saw us kind of path into theater, and that was because we thought that they had a Mei at the choke point. But as soon as we saw that they didn't have Mei and they were running double shield, we thought that we could go through choke point. But they just had so much damage going that way that I knew Rein Zarya wasn't gonna do it. So I swap onto Ball and Falcon swaps onto Reinhardt. So this gives me a way to give them to kind of pull their attention away from Falcon. So you can see I'm over here just kind of shooting, and just a little bit of hesitation where, you know, people are looking at me allows our team to get that space. So I'm surprised it actually worked on the first attempt. You know, I swapped a ball just on a whim, but it actually ended up working. Now here, I knew ball wasn't going to get us far, so I go immediately to spawn, thinking that we should make some swaps. But I'm 70 to mines. You know what? Let's just try and, you know, go with it. And Ubisoft made no hesitations. They swapped to their kind of classic Rein Hog immediately. They wasted no time on it, which is a much more stable comp for Streets phase, and they just push us back here. Yeah. So we started investing ults. You know, I used my mines. Falcon used his shatter because we knew that we weren't gonna, you know, stay on these characters for too long. But then all of a sudden it's like, hey, wait a second, we just team wiped them. Like we need to push this advantage. So like, even though Ball's not the person I want to be, I'm thinking like, hey, you know, if I can just be up here and stall the cart, maybe we can make it without a contest. But Titus lands a great hook, which kind of foils that plan. And they're just beating us off of a better team comp. They just have a better team right now. Ball doesn't offer too much here. Only thing is that Falcon and I both have our ults back up online. So we're like, all right, we only need to get it 5 more meters. Let's use our ult, see if we can get it, and then we'll swap. And we're just kind of in this vicious cycle right now. So the call here on Game Hive was to everybody to go left, and that's why you kind of see me over here, just trying to get people to look my way. And then as soon as the fight comes in, there's the mines, but there's the shatter. It's just not working for us. Our tank line needs to swap. And there's no excuse now because we just used our ults. We're both in spawn, so now we swap to the Reinhog. So this is a much more stable tank line for King's Row, especially on Streets phase. And then we had the ults to kind of win this fight. Bob we had the window to break Ryan's shield, then Bob goes in. They're at a respawn. They're at a resource disadvantage. Yeah, that's kind of how we took that point. But now Falcon's kind of doing the whole Deckham strat. You know, he's fishing for hooks. I don't know why I went on to cart. That was a mistake. Kubrick saw I was out of position and just slammed my team. You know, I don't know what was going on there. And now all of a sudden they're again for the rest of this fight or this round, what you're gonna see is Ubisoft just has a better team. And you it's almost identical, right? You know, Reinhog, Baptiste, Ashe. The difference being Anna, Moira, and the big one, the really big one, is McCree and Reaper. So Reaper does damage when he's 3 feet away from you. McCree does damage at mid-range. So by the time we actually get to them, my shield's destroyed. Like they're just going to outpoke us. And it's super hard for Reaper to actually get any value. And we end up holding on to Reaper ult for like the entire round, essentially. Because we just can't get in a position because they're just spamming us so hard.
30 seconds remaining.
So even though there's only 30 seconds left, I thought that double shield, like Orisa Ryan, was the way to go, because then like we can make it to the point for sure, you know, with shields. But 5-7 pops my shield, and you know, they just counter our offense so well. Yeah.
Ready. 2, 1.
Yeah. So now we go on to this comp. We actually were practicing this. This is something that we wanted to roll out on, and it's this Orisa Rhine with a Mei. And basically, you can try and halt people through the choke, and then wall them off. And just double main tank is just so strong. You know, I don't know why people run off tanks to begin with. Main tanks are just better. But no, that's not true. But I mean, there is ways to make it work. I think double main tank on defense, especially on like first points, are super strong, because we saw that like Falcon went down, like the Reinhardt went down, but we still had an Orisa on point to contest, which just gives a team like another anchor point to bunker down on, right? Whereas like an off tank can't really do that. I think if Orisa wasn't there with her shield, I think Ubisoft pushes in a little bit harder. So yeah, it's Captain Jardy is just up here now. I think he goes down to like 2 health actually. Yeah, 2 health, and he's still just sort of here. Yeah, a little bit of an overcommitment on the side of Game Hive. We used quite a bit of ults there, but we're kind of in this mode right now where it's just like, you know, rinse and repeat, just spam, kind of the same thing that, you know, they were doing to us on defense. Just spam, break that Reinhardt shield. But now they've saved up quite a few ults of their own, and they ended up taking this fight. This is where things get a little bit unlucky for the side of Ubisoft, where Titus pushes up, you know, which is actually a good idea, and then Kubrick lands this shatter. And it's actually really big, but the Mei wall came in at the last second, which really saved us. Because all of a sudden, if you get those picks as Ubisoft, then you get Streets phase, right? You can roll with that. But that Mei wall came in to save the tanks. Bob was there to pressure them away, and then we're back at this choke. And this is one of the hardest chokes to get through, because it's so elongated that the enemy team, like the attacking team, has to like walk through. And Falcon does a great play here, where he uses the cart as natural cover, and then because the enemy team can't see him, it's sort of this, like, you kind of forget he's there, and that's when he releases the shatter. It was actually a great play by him. But then Ubisoft tries this wraparound, and I can kind of see that, like, oh, they're not here, and all of a sudden they're all here. The thing is this rotation kind of saves us, where we realize that we don't have to fight on that side of choke. We can go onto the other side and fight there, and then that puts Ubisoft in a position where they still have to come through the choke. They're just doing it from the other side, because the cart's over here. So that kind of negated any advantage that they had from it. I think they're thinking about going for it again, but it's under a minute. They need to push the cart. Again, this is an over commitment, which is going to cost us. We use bongos and window. You only need to use one. But we do get them down to 30 seconds. And again, whenever you're kind of in this area, you know, you don't want to make it easy for the enemy team to. You don't want them to just go into cards. So you're always kind of spamming. Falcon, this is one of the most Game Hive things to do. Is, you know, there's 10 seconds left and someone goes on this like wicked flank, and 4 times than not it doesn't end up working. I mean, if it does, it's huge, but we've been doing it all season, and usually it backfires on us. Sorry, Game 5. Yeah, and then Ubisoft end up pushing, like, trying to really push their advantage. They're trying to just get Street Phase over and done with. I think is the right call. But we were able to, we knew we had time to group up as 6. And we had the ults in this to contest it. We knew that we had, you know, Bongos, May ult, Bob, Window. Like we had those ults. So we knew that as long as we can contest as 6, then we'll be fine. Watchpoint Gibraltar. Watchpoint Gibraltar was a fun map.
2-1. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
So 5-7's on the Pharah. Didn't entirely surprise any of us. He's a great Pharah, but I was kind of scared that he was going to go onto like a Widowmaker of some sort. And this is something that Phoebesoft ran in their weeks before, so I was prepared for it. Was their putting Titus on Winston and having Captain Jardy on Sombra to complement him, because the EMPs, along with usually like you get if you have a nano Winston, then that really does it. We've done that a couple weeks where I think Underbite will be our Sombra, EMP, Mazez, nanos, myself, and then I just have free range in kind of what's going on. I go over that sleep in one of the support videos, and I also go over this. And this was just such a crazy fight. I knew the Sombra was around somewhere. I just got her sense, and then I go over this in one of the tank videos, just basically explaining like how to stall the cart and how to kind of reset your aggro. Like to get people to look away from you just enough to survive and get healthy again. Basically just by jumping up in the air a bunch of times. You know, as soon as you start taking a lot of heat, you jump up and out of the way. But then yeah, again, just like a second too late going invisible, and this time Underbite was able to spot it out. Yeah, I end up taking way too much damage. This is something that Phoebesoft have been very good on, and that's focus firing. Like if I step, it's so hard to play Winston into them, because if I step even just a little bit out of position, they have such good focus fire that you're dead within a second, it feels. I actually end up throwing here because I'm trying to stay up on there, but then I fall off, and I kind of panic ult, because the last thing I want to do is feed a kill right during the last fight. But because I don't have Primal, I'm not able to stall this out or anything, and Phoebesoft kind of takes advantage of that. I don't think it was a C9, because we were dead for the most part. I mean, we still had the pharmacy alive, but you can't really expect that to contest the card. I went up there just to contest, but I got a Reaper to the face, so that was a bit nasty. But luckily I had the nano to kind of back me up. That's funny. I never noticed that both 5-7 and Underbite take themselves out with ults. This fight was a lot more chaotic than I remember. Holy smokes. There's so much going on. But at this point, like, nobody... at this very moment, nobody has respawn advantage. Neither team has respawn advantage. It's in the middle of the map, so... nothing's really going on. Mazez lands a really good sleep, but then Lulu P pops Valk to actually save Mazez. He was at like 30 HP with a monkey on him. I think Mercy healing's toxic. As a monkey player, like your taser just doesn't do enough. You know, she can just pocket whoever you're focusing, and you're almost useless at that point. So this was a call that we decided to make, where even though Underbite was ulting, we decided to nano monkey because it's I can get onto the squishies, guaranteed. Underbite was going to take out the tanks, I was going to take out the squishies. So, I mean, it just look at it took a lot of patience to not go down on the tanks, but I'm here. Rock Raj is right beside, and I knew like supports and 5-7 were my target, so we kind of went for that. Yeah, so we were feeling pretty good about our dive, so we decided to roll out on it. Again, Reaper to the face, and this felt weird. We had a pharmacy inside of this little room. I don't really know what to think of it, but I mean, Underbite seems to be doing okay. Actually, both Captain Jardy and Underbite were both 1 health during that engage. Yeah, I mean, I saw Titus's hook go out. That's why I felt comfortable about diving onto the high ground. Squishies, the name of the game. Actually, Phoebesoft tanks do a really good job of... both the supports went down. So Phoebesoft's supports went down, but their tanks still stood their ground. They invested both their ults, but they stopped the card progress. And then Captain Jardy saw that Mercy was rezzing myself, like the Winston, dropped down, ulted, and ended up getting both Mercy and Harana. So then he took out our supports. So we took out theirs, their tanks countered with their ults, and then they took out our supports. So I won't lie, 5-7 was very targeted during most of this. Like the dive was to go on him. But I think we just built up enough ults, and we got enough high ground advantage where we could take advantage of it. High ground is so advantageous on Watchpoint. Like, if you don't have high ground, you better have a solid bunker. And at this point, like, I thought we could win the game here, to be honest. I knew that half of the team had bad spawns, and I was like, I really want to push this. I really want to push this. But it just we just didn't commit. We needed to commit onto one half of the team or the other, whether it was the ones coming back from the long spawn or the ones that were stuck in the short spawn. Either one needed to be focused. So again, 5-7, we see him. That's kind of our target. And then Underbite gets play of the game here. Yeah, as soon as we made the jump onto 5-7, he got low, backed out, Reaper came on top. Like I said, like high ground is just so good on that point, you know. Even a Reaper that needs to be 3 feet away from you could just use high ground to drop.
Traveling to Hanamura.
So Hanamura, we were attacking, and we did want to run the TP strat right away. Like this was in the plan. I thought I threw. I really did. I thought I threw that, like the whole point. But I managed to survive by the skin of my teeth to get back to my team, and then I got hit with a nade. And Titus did a really smart play here, where he went to the edge because he knew that just straight up, like if he was on point, there was no way he was gonna take on any of us. But if he gets an environmental kill, that's a free kill, and that's a potential way to get back into the game. We had a bunch of ults here. We thought we could just separate mid and TP down onto it. I would actually like a second look to actually see how this works. Again, Titus's hooks are just nuts. Yeah, Falcon's just sitting on top. That's funny. But yeah, I mean, like this is a we just couldn't crack it, and we tried doing the same thing kind of over and over again. Earlier I mentioned, you know, pathing, never pathed the same way twice, sort of thing. I think we did it like a bunch of times because Underbite's got his ult again, and we're just thinking, hey, like, you know, maybe it'll just go better this time. Like we almost had it. Let's just do it again. But 5-7. He even gets slept. But we didn't have the pull to separate him. The Orisa pull. Yeah, he just keeps doing this. I think he sits up here on this high ground, and we just can't get him off. I wanted to swap to Monkey, but I had my ult, and it's a dangerous thing, you know, having an ult, because it kind of gives you validation to stay on the wrong champion, you know. I mean, we get 3 picks here. This is just 2 CP. I mean, if you don't team wipe them, then you just don't get anything. Yeah, there's 5-7. Yeah, what a game mode. What a game mode. So we make the swap to Ryan Hog. Um, it's a bit more brawly than Orisa. Um, yeah, that's just a thought. I don't know. It's something that we were kind of comfortable on. Yeah. Keeper lands a good shatter. That's that. And that's huge because they invested one shatter for a full team wipe, and now they all have ults to respond with. I think this ended up being play of the game, but like 2 CP. We just did that, and we still didn't get the point. Damn. This yeah. This was actually a fat finger from Fjarnskagel. But because he has it open, I take the free space and I go to point. But the rest of the team kind of stayed back a little bit, I think, to protect him. And then Kubrick just ends up jumping in front of him and shattering the 5 other teammates. My 5 other teammates.
Score 0. Ready for battle.
Yeah, and then they come out with the TP Bastion strat, which I was interested. I didn't think that was gonna happen. I think this is the first time we've seen Bastion so far. I actually didn't even know up until like this point. I think someone said there was a Bastion, and then I started to panic a little bit. Falcon just builds a shatter so fast. But we did a good job of like avoiding sightlines on the Bastion. I think for most of this we hold it really well, but then can't remember what breaks it open. Oh, I want to go to Falcon's perspective here, because on stream this was okay. On stream this looked really weird, where like both Kubrick and Falcon were just like standing up, yelling, hammer down at each other. But how did he not die? Yeah, there was a Bastion right in his face. Yeah. So they invested a few good ults. Paid off.
60 seconds remaining.
I think getting that grab onto Falcon really did it, but it was more uh, Fjarn being out of position with Mei more than anything. And you can see here, I was holding that high ground, but I immediately go straight to spawn because we need a diva. At this point, Orisa's no good, but I was a little late on the swap. They do that sim teleporter. Like, look at that. This is just a like. I mean, I've seen it before on like fresh nuts or something, but this is it's just. How is that in game? I don't know. Yeah, they took that second point quite decisively. So that was really smart. Busan.
Now traveling to Busan. Ready for battle.
So to be completely honest, I thought this was gonna be our worst map as Game Hive. I see it. I see Busan Control Center the same way I see Lijang Control Center, where Mei is just super powerful on it, and I think Ubisoft just had the better Mei, or has the better Mei, but they didn't run it. They didn't run the Mei, which is kind of a mystery to me. They ran it so well on Lijang. I was sure of it. But yeah, just having a Mei to alter the map is just so powerful. And good job on Keeper baiting out that Mei wall. We were kind of yeah. Yeah, I think Titus really wanted to go for Ana here. He got her, but yeah, I wanted people to be looking from like on the right side while I go up to the high choke, but then like before I knew it, Ubisoft took the bottom rope, or the bottom road, like underneath to point. So I think we were actually lucky to win this fight, because they did have us completely off guard by taking the bridge underneath. I whiffed that shatter. Yeah. And this is just one of those things where, like, once overtime starts going for that long, you know, thoughts start going through your head, like, oh my god, like, something's gonna happen, someone's gonna pop off, you know, they're gonna grab us off the edge of the map and all this kind of stuff. But we were able to hold on to it. This map, I knew that this was probably going to be our strongest map, because this allows me to go onto Winston, and we can run our tried and true. Is that the saying? But anyway, we can run on our Winston Reinhardt comp that we've been running for most of the season. And our comms were kind of messed up here. Everyone, I thought that they were gonna go to coast, so I took a lot of damage, thinking that I could jump over there and get healed, but that wasn't the case. So I kind of got delayed out of the fight. We ended up taking it, and even though Underbite popped off at the beginning here, the respawns just came in for Ubisoft, and they took it. So it was nothing to kind of panic about. It was miscommunication on our part. So, you know, if we just tighten up our comms, then we should be fine. That was really close to sticking, actually. Actually, what happened there? Just a good shot from Bjarn. Yeah, so we had a few ults to work with, and again, same thing with like Watchpoint Gibraltar. I really wanted to control this high ground. They switched onto a Reaper, and I knew he was gonna come contest me, so I was ready for it. You know, you never want to give it up for free, but you also don't want to int into a Reaper or feed into a Reaper. I popped Primal just because I wanted to stay on point. But yeah, because my bubble doesn't do much, so I popped Primal just to contest. And I think this is something that Ubisoft did to us like a number of times, and they do it later on in the game where they just take the point. They just run out to point, just take it from us. And then we have to flip it back. And yeah, so and here, I was calling for Underbite to help me out, because just straight Winston against Reaper, you don't stand a chance. But Winston and a Pharmacy against a Reaper, then you have something. So again, I didn't want to give them this free space, so I was calling for Underbite to get me. We see that they're all going coast. Yeah, they just take it. But lucky enough, we had the ults to deal with it. Yeah, and I think they do the same thing. I think they do it again. But same thing. Like Monkey, you always want to stage from somewhere, right? This is the best place to do it. Same thing. We almost get the Reaper, and we're able to solo him out. Falcon's doing a good job of just, you know, zoning out the visor. And then once the threat is down, this is actually a really good play from Falcon. So not this one. Actually, hold on a second. Oh, I did. I passed it. Yeah, right here. So he knows 5-7's there. He just took down our Ana. Oh, it was a res they were covering. But yeah, he still just completely zones him out. And I think this is something where like it's notable. You want to win the fight, because winning the fight will get you the point. So even though they took the point, we played to win the fight. And then I woke up a sleeping ball. I actually, like, we could have ended it right there, but I just shot a ball. I shot Kubrick, and she woke up.
Victory.
Didn't end up making too much of a difference, but try not to sleep somebody, or try not to wake somebody up when they're sleeping off the point in overtime. Numbani was super stressful. I gotta be honest with you. I seriously doubted that we would win it, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Yeah, so I mean we're pretty comfortable running this like dive on defense. We've been doing it for, you know, a few games so far, and we've had some success. Call comes in that they're taking the underneath route, and something you don't see often is a Reinhardt taking out a Mercy pocketing a Pharah, but I think so she got caught on a sign or something, and was out in the open, and then we're kind of forced to make a play, but at this point, Ubisoft can just kind of roll us on point. So again, it's nothing to panic about. Like, yeah, they took point in the first push, but it was because we got unlucky with a Guardian Angel. You know, there's no reason to like switch up the comp or, you know, not believe in it or anything. So Kubrick actually lands a great shatter here. As a Nano Winston right in your face, that's a high priority target. The bubble's down, it's a free shatter, but then going for the Nano Winston, going for the Diva would have been much more valuable because then you can demech her. But the Nano boosted Winston is going to have a lot of damage reduction and a high health pool. The bomb there wasn't for kills. It was just to get us to reset. We'd taken a lot of damage, and I think if we don't throw in that bomb, then they can just press the attack on us, and we would just have been out of all resources. Double justice, but then we also get play of the game from Captain Jardy here.
Back into the mix.
And this is what I'm saying. I came up there as Winston, and all of a sudden everyone is just looking at me. So I had to back up. I'm not sure how that works, because he wasn't even in his sight when he looked up. Doesn't Deadeye have to charge? Either way. And then Fjarn gets picked here, which is really unfortunate.
This will restore you.
Means that we have to wait, and they almost get street phase just off of that. If you're Ubisoft in this position, you want to be managing that shield, and you want to let them know that you're there. But realistically, either like you're not gonna get much of a pick from it. So either like if you're gonna play on your side of choke, you're really looking for picks, or else like you need to push up I guess like if this is a coaching VOD at all, um, if you have some kind of numbers advantage, you need to push so they can't come back and contest the card. Because if you're holding at this choke and the point's right here, you know they can swarm you to get to it. But if you're up here, then they have to fight through you in order to come touch the card. It's a more dangerous position to hold for sure, but again, Cupid's been landing some great shatters like all game. This was a really interesting fight. I'm gonna go back and play this one in slow or just regular. But I had ult here, I had shatter, and I didn't know if I wanted to invest it or not. Because I just didn't know if it was winnable. And I'll let you guys kind of take a look at my POV and decide for yourself whether it's shatter worthy or not. So I'm here, I've got it. And then all of a sudden I'm getting super aggroed on, and that was kind of the moment where I thought, like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should shatter this. Like if their Reinhardt just wants to walk at me with no shield up right now, like this is a great time to shatter. But then the grab came in, then the ult came in from the Pharah, and I was like, I can still shatter this. Like that barrier's broken. Actually no, Keeper would have blocked that. I was dead. That would have been a block for sure. Yeah, so they get second point here.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
And then this is where we actually played really well as Game Hive. So I guess something to say here is we knew that we wanted to use Justice here, or Pharah's ult here. So backing up, I'm trying to let them come through the choke because our Pharah is right above. It doesn't get the kills that we wanted it to, but barrier's broken and I see the opportunity. It's okay to invest your ult in this situation if you're a Reinhardt, just to confirm like the team kill. So let's say that we don't invest shatter here. What happens? So Justice comes, we get one pick onto Titus. Then they counter with a pick onto our Reaper. If we don't invest there, there's a chance that Ubisoft can push into that. So yeah, using your ult to get more kills for your team. So let's just see what that did. All right, so take a look at the ult bank here right now. So 58, 89, 85, 83, and we're using these two ults. So by using those two ults, D.Va now has hers. Ana now has hers. And then Fjarn died. But Lulu. he almost had it anyways. But then Mercy now has hers. So we traded 2 ults for 3. Almost 4. We were gonna have the Reaper ult anyways, but the other ones benefited from that. From getting more kills. Yeah, and then they start coming up here, and right now the instinct for most people is to rotate back this way. People, when giving space, most people think about going back to spawn. Like you know, the attackers are here, and the defenders are here. But realistically, the only thing that matters is this payload. So they come up here, and it's the same thing as King's Row. If they want to move the payload, they have to be there. So them coming up behind us doesn't really mean anything. Most people's reaction is to come this way, and both our Ana and our Reaper had that instinct. But during the comms, I was screaming at the team to get to me. Like, find your Reinhardt, get to your Reinhardt, like, get over here now. Because if we take this room, then we have a lot of natural cover, we have the mega health pack, and we can contest the cart from here. So whether they want to come at us from this side of the choke, or they want to come through this door and drop down, they still have to come to us if they want this cart to move. So because they've now put themselves into that little doorway, the Reinhardt shield gets burnt down to almost nothing, and then that frees up both Diva Bomb and Reaper ult to go in uncontested with no damage mitigation. So just remember, you don't have to back up towards your spawn. Alter yourself around the payload. We could have played. Actually, no. This would have been a horrible place to rotate to. Yeah, rotating to the Mega was the right call. If I was Phoebesoft, I would have gotten 5-7 off of Pharah, because playing in this low, with this low ceiling, you know, like, sure, Pharah's great once she gets through here, but the thing is that she either has to go through that door or fly underneath this bridge. So it's a little rough. And again, just like King's Row, this is a really long choke point. It's wide, but it's still a choke point. Yeah. I'll let you know like what we were thinking about. So right now we had Fjarn up in here. Right, he's got his ult. He's ready to move down on them. And it was just a little bit of like off timing, because we were like, yeah, like now's the time to go. But it was just too late. So we had ults, but as soon as they invested the grav, I knew things were over for us, and we can recontest. Like, there was no problem in us getting 6 people back in the cart. So Same thing as King's Row. Just relax, save your ults, and pre-contest S6. Yeah. I think even if Bob is on payload, I think we still take that. I don't think they had enough resources there to actually push it the rest of the way. But that's a as good of a push as any, right? Sure, it's you didn't get the 3, but you stopped it like, or like Ubisoft pushed it like 2 meters up until the 3rd. So as long as they can hold, then they're fine. It gives yourself a win condition, like a really good win condition. And they came out with this double shield bastion, which again I wasn't expecting. I was totally expecting 5-7 to be on soldier. Like I would have put money on it that 5-7 plays soldier on this. As Doki's, he did it multiple times. He was soldier or Pharah. But they ran with this double shield bastion, and it's super frustrating to play against. It's just so hard to break because NBK's immortality timings are just like on point. Right, like they saw us coming through the tunnels, they just shift over a little bit. I mean, we got to pick on the bastion, but Timmy's there just instantly to res him. And there's nothing any of us can do about it, really. And Pronto actually got it right on the casting, where he said, like, you know, you gotta pick, you can feel like it's validated and stuff, so you can try it again. Because I knew Winston probably wasn't the best tank to be playing into this. And to anyone wondering how to actually break this bunker, it would be to actually avoid the bastion and just kind of sit right here, pressure the point, and make someone drop down. And then once someone drops down, then you either burst them and wait for another person to come down onto point, or that kind of gives you a number advantage. If you're playing dive, like all of us can get up top. So if that Sigma drops to contest point, then we can all just jump up on top, and then now we're at like a 5v or a 6v5. That kind of thing is the way to do it. But they're gonna hold us here for a minute 45 until we get this this diva bomb. That kind of separates their team. So at this point, I was like, all right, I guess you have to defense matrix my charge. But there's a window. It was off timed for like a second. I mean, there was no way I was actually gonna do that. So I know Reinhardt's not the answer. I'm running out of answers. I don't know what to do. I just swapped ball because I can touch points. You know, I don't know why I actually went ball this early on. There's still a minute left. But oh, I thought I could knock people off. I thought I could go behind them and then knock a few people off the high ground that way. That was the reasoning. But we've got 20 seconds. We're running mobility, so we can get back to point. That's fine. And then this is the bomb that kind of set things off. I was to be completely honest, I was already thinking about the next map. I was like, yeah, you know, like I was just defeated. Like I didn't know how to break this. I had no answers. Um, and yeah, I was like, yeah, let's. My mind was already on the next map. Then this happens. This bomb happens, and it makes a couple people drop. Which is kind of unfortunate because NBK had an immortality field ready to rock and roll. So he threw immortality field, but because it wasn't up straight away, most of Phoebesoft dropped, and as soon as they dropped, then our comp was able to take advantage. And because we didn't have any good fights, we had ults to work with. And then yeah, all of a sudden, we just broke the Bastion bunker. And now I'm thinking like, hey, you know what? We can do this. And again, I went back to spawn because I was like, ball's not good. Just not a good pick. But I was thinking, you know what, hey, you know, I've almost got mines. Maybe I can get a pick here. And again, same, like, I think this was a broken Guardian Angel. Mercy kind of gets separated. And then, yeah, this is what I wanted to do. I just wanted to use mines because I wanted to get off of ball. But because it's working, you know, I stay on it. But yeah, I mean, this is like we're pressuring our advantage, right? They've got no CC for me, so like it's actually okay if I stay on ball. And then once actually right here is a big thing where I'm at half health and I'm asking for heals in comms, like, because if I get heals right now and I'm topped up, then I don't take this position, right? If I'm topped up earlier, then I can, as ball, I can be here, and I can make it so that we can get this last, you know, 2.5 meters. So this game really did come down to like inches like that, you know. We just needed 2.5 meters. If I got topped up just a little bit earlier, then maybe I can stall them. You know, I at least interrupt the Bob, so Bob isn't the one contesting. Maybe we actually get the second point right here, right now. But we actually take this fight, but it's really interesting. This is the only time I've ever seen a baby diva get nanoed. And this is really 5-head play because it gives baby diva enough survivability and damage to get her mech back. So it was a heavy ult investment from our team, but it was we got the second point. And now again, like, I don't want to be on ball, but because I have mines, I'm thinking, hey, you know, let's do it. And this was a bait. This was such a trap. I knew. So Mazez ends up getting a sleep dart onto the Roadhog, and everyone gets kill happy, you know, because it is Titus. It's a high priority target, and he's sleeping inside of this room. But then I know Reinhardt's in there, and everyone just went in. So, like, that shatter, I knew it was gonna happen, but I just couldn't communicate it fast enough for everyone to get out. Um, yeah, I mean they gave us enough space where you know maybe we can just get it here. Yeah, that's it, and that's kind of the bomb that sealed the deal. Puddle actually did want to swap off of Diva, but I knew that we needed the Diva. Like, Diva is the reason why we won this comp, and it's not because of the bomb. It's because of the defense matrix. Because you can eat Reaper ult, you can absorb like window, you can eat high noon. Anything that Titus hooks can be eaten. You can also eat his ult. You can just do so much as Diva. The bomb though was kind of the icing on the cake. And I think he just throws it in. Yeah. But it was just about enough. And then at this point it's just focusing targets, and that's that. And that's kind of what was going through our minds and our comms during these finals. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I know it was long, but that's just an idea of what it was like playing those games. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later.